those teams, 72 PC, kind of in similar skill brackets. But against NRG, this is going to be a huge obstacle to climb over. I don't think NRG are going to be tilted that much. They don't really seem to me like the team ever that's been one to tilt after you have a close matchup. You know, Garrett G, I don't really see him as a player who's just kind of throws everything out the window, and all their momentum is pretty much gone. I think they're going to carry that hunger from Game 5 against Envy into here.
We'll see. I think I agree. I don't think they're one to tilt, and maybe not if they get one here right off the bat. Great save, though, from Prime Thunder. That's a name we haven't been able to talk about in a long time.
Goodness.
Making his way back onto the RLCS stage, and still at it, still trying to chase the dream here, and he certainly can with this Crimson Wings team.
Man, he's been at it since the very beginning. As soon as the competitive scene started, Prime Thunder was basically at the very beginning of it all. You know, he was starting rosters early on. He didn't come in, you know, season 3, season 4. He's been here trying to grind to the top, and it's great. In this new format, we can see him, you know, here get on the main stage, get in front of everybody. You know, we can finally view his skill and how far he's come, because I've always thought he's a player who deserves to be at the top, no matter what team he falls on.
And he is one of the original young guns in Rocket League. Now, of course, 5 years later, we can't really say that anymore, but he's been around a long time.
You know, I was once a young gun, Crowley. Those are my early days.
You're still a young gun in my heart.
Wow, thank you, Crowley. That means a lot.
Born in 2000s, but anyways. Skills trying to challenge Squishy up towards the ceiling in a very even game here in the first minute and a half. NRG really not putting on a lot of pressure, just trying to see what drops from Crimson Wings. You can see them kind of just blasting the ball down the field at the moment and receiving the clears in the midfield. Nobody trying to be a hero on NRG at the moment. I don't think they need to. They play their game. More than likely probably end up in their favor. Who knows? Crimson Wings, they do have a lot of skill here. Obviously, we've talked about Prime Thunder. Skills is another player we've seen in Rival Series who's a phenomenal player in his own right, mechanically, and of course, Demo as well. A player that's been on a couple teams here and there in the North American bubble scene and Rival Series. So we'll see if they can really take it to NRG as a great pass comes out from Justin. Garrett G's shot just off.
I mean, that's what we expect, though, from NRG. I mean, in terms of possession and how they're going to be controlling the ball, they have the advantage. I think that Atomic even said it best. Once you give them the ball and let them go for a counterattack, that's when it gets scary. So it's all about preventing that option, throwing somebody at them, making them, you know, go for a flick early on so that you can then stuff out that possession and stop their control from moving forward.
Great pass from Squishy, and Garrett had the shot. Prime Thunder gets in the way of that one. Free ball here. Skills throws it downfield. Prime Thunder trying to pick it off. Both Skills and Prime Thunder go, but it's still going to work out here for Crimson Wings. 17 boost for Demo. Skills trying to control this one. Goes straight to Justin, who fires off a shot. It was wide. Prime Thunder does slow it down. NRG doing a very good job of predicting where Crimson Wings want to go at the moment. Just kind of always shadowing under the ball, waiting for that clear to kind of land right in front of them.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they're getting too desperate as well, which is classic NRG. They never undervalue the team they're up against. I feel like no matter who it is, they don't take too many risks. They just want to stay clean with their rotations, make sure they're infiltrating the corners, taking the boost, and then they get out really quickly. They never really stay too long, as you know, somebody like Gimmick would.
Bit of a mistouch there from Crimson Wings as Justin tried to give it over to Squishy. Here's Prime Thunder. See what he has in store for us, as he only had 37 boost in that air dribble. So he ran out of options to be creative. Still a 0-0 game, as we're under a minute at this point. NRG's put up 5 shots to the single shot of Crimson Wings. Now make it 2. And this could be their chance. Prime Thunder's up for this one. Almost was cleared right into him. Now Garrett here to collect.
Oh, good patience there from Squishy. I love that play where instead of trying to go up as the third man back, you're waiting for the touch to come out so you can keep possession. That's what I was talking about. They're not getting too desperate because, you know, they don't undervalue the speed they're up against. Squishy in that situation, I feel like 9 times out of 10, he still could have beat the other player in regards to speed, but he just wanted to play it safe, make sure he keeps possession.
Oh.
And overall, it's a better team play, and Justin lands on it. I'm trying to figure out where the third man was for Crimson Wings.
Well, Prime Thunder was on the initial challenge. It looks like Demo
himself.
Just didn't get up and was beat over his head. So NRG are going to get the go-ahead goal with 14 seconds left. And after Crimson Wings have done so well to slow them down, not let them have anything, they might give up a second one. Justin didn't get a hold of that one, but they're going to need to go here and keep it up. That's great preventative defense there by Squishy, just inviting the challenge. As Justin still keeping this one up. Skills trying to do the same. Prime Thunder, he might be able to get back to it. He does. That's into the midfield, and Skills was there, and a monster clear comes out to Garrett, or from Garrett, to finish off game one.
And it's crazy because while we see a close score line, the game feels like it was totally NRG's to win. Not to discredit Crimson Wings, they had some good possession, some solid control of the ball, but NRG are totally fine with giving them that control. It's not like they're just trying to constantly play keep away. They just want to play smart with their decisions on 50s and realize that if somebody's in net and has to get a goal line save, it's not the worst thing in the world so long as the shot doesn't come out. That's insane. And I think that for NRG, that's why they get so many clean 3-0s. You know, they 3-0'd Meteor, they 3-0'd 72 PC, and it's play styles like this which help them to be so consistent against, you know, lower level teams.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Is, you know, having to change up your play style for teams that maybe you don't see as often, or teams that are maybe of lower skill, but definitely could upset you. And I think here you're seeing a conservative approach from NRG. Doesn't matter if you beat them by 1 or 20 goals. A win's a win, and that's a 1-0 on the books here. And they only need 2 more. So I think you're absolutely right. NRG had done a great job of controlling this game. Did Crimson Wing have some opportunities?
Yeah,
certainly throughout that series or throughout that game. But NRG definitely looked to be in control and composed throughout game one.
And the opportunities weren't anything that made us kind of start to worry about where NRG was positioned. We saw a couple of double commits on their side of defense, which were a little bit alarming, but for the most part, there weren't any chances for Crimson Wings with an open net, and it never came down to their shooting or their mechanics. It was just somebody from NRG was always ready to get in front of the ball, and that's as simple as it can be.
Well, we're off to game 2. Crimson Wings trying to make amends from game 1. They held NRG scoreless all the way up to the 14-second mark, but they might have just given one here as a second save comes out from Demo to make up for his pass to NRG, and a good clear. Now Garrett pops it up into the midfield. Prime Thunder gives it back. No boost on the follow-up. Here's Squishy. Can he get a second touch? He does off at this tough angle that drops down to Garrett, and he'll push it into the Crimson Wings corner, and a good dunk here from Skills to slow things down.
Oh, Squishy over the other one. What a double tap there in the air. That's what you want to go for. Just slow little plays using your skills. And that's, I think, where Squishy shines the most. And this one almost slots in. What is going on? That ball was just hovering for 10 seconds in front of the net, waiting for a defender. And Crimson Wings, their third-man rotation is always just slightly off.
I think everyone in this server was surprised to see that one bounce the way it did. Here's Prime Thunder on the shot. Justin to clear. So first good look for Crimson Wings as they now need to play a bit of defense. Here's Squishy, dangerous spot, double tap looming, and it's bit off. Follow up there from Garrett. It comes out to Squishy, has support, and Justin takes another shot off the back wall. And Crimson Wings are just watching NRG play around. No shots on target, though.
I mean, they're just running around with possession. And like I said before, it doesn't feel like they are forcing it. You know, NRG don't want to throw themselves into a position that could be a potential risk for their own defense. If they have space, they're going to take it. If they don't, then they'll back off. It's really a simple game and a simple approach for them, but it's one that's effective, especially in this new format where you're going up against a lot of teams you don't know. That's a good pass from Squishy out of the midfield, and it's a simple game. We did see a demo after the play, but you know, you beat out the one goalkeeper of demo with a 50. Skills backflips again. That's another chance too where he's in the backfield and he can't get up.
Yeah, that one's just a backflip there. I don't even know if he could have gotten up fast enough either way. Yeah. It might have just been dunked through him in the end, but still, we'll never know. And NRG now, with 3 minutes left, take the lead. And you are starting to see that control that you would expect from NRG.
Yeah.
It seems
like it's almost like you get so many shots at your net as well, and your defense really starts to crumble because nobody has any boost. Nobody knows where the next angle will come from because Squishy and Justin, while they're playing a bit reserved here, the mechanics from them, they can shine at any moment.
There's a shot from Justin, and it's going to float over the head of Prime Thunder off the demo. A 2-goal lead now for NRG.
Squishy's doing a lot of work in the offensive half. He's going for the demo. Before in the other goal, we saw him get the 50. And now, like we said, going for the demo, setting up a lot of space for Justin and Garrett G to do what they do best. And it's a calm, cool, collected game from NRG.
It's tragic watching the Crimson Wings defense right now as everyone trying to keep their boost levels up. And unfortunately, NRG are just peppering the back wall, constant pressure, and it's very tough for Crimson Wings to get a hold of themselves, to have any composure.
Yeah.
And now NRG are pulling out the demos left and right. That's another one from Justin, and it's opening up that much more space for NRG to work with.
Yeah, and I'm watching from Squish's perspective. It's good to see him going in for a lot of those corner boosts and being the most aggressive. Earlier we saw him get a demo, and now he's just chasing them, trying to get a dunk. I think he might be the only player who's willing to risk his position just slightly, and that's all calculated from NRG. But here it is, Justin with a save, so close. This could be the chance for Crimson Wings to put one in, but it's Justin with the goal line save.
What an angle from Prime Thunder. I didn't think he could get that one on target. Garrett the other way. That was a big chance for Crimson Wings. Only had 3 shots so far in this game. Again, not able to convert. NRG looking to hold on to this 2-goal lead as everyone from Crimson Wings watched this one go off the crossbar. I don't know if it was just too awkward or no one win, but in the end, they're paid the price dearly for it as Justin puts away a 3rd goal.
It's so calculated. And look at Squishy. He has so many options. He can take this slow, go for the dribble. We know he's a 1v1 legend in the past. He can also just boom it straight on target, but instead he takes the best route possible, the safest play, passes it across to Justin, a selfless one at that. And another clean finish for NRG. Nothing to doubt in terms of their defense.
Well, and I think that last play was a very telltale sign of everyone being out of boost and things being in a bit of disarray for the defense. Nobody went up for that initial ball off the crossbar. And a great shot here from Justin, the pass from Garrett in the midfield, and a 4-goal lead now for NRG.
And you said it yourself, it's all about the midfield passes. Garrett G receives it off of Squishy, who finds him on the clear, where Squishy again makes the right decision, where he could have just boomed it forward, but instead he goes for the midfield pass, keeping possession. It's small instances like that that separate a team like NRG and Crimson Wings.
And those passes are one of the more scary types, because not only is it hit with pace, but it gets over that first defender with no chance of them to be able to make the play.
Yeah.
And that man receiving the ball receives it between 2 defenders. It's very tough for the defense to make the quick read and adjustments. Demo's going to get one back here for Crimson Wings as they have 54 seconds to work with.
And this is the first time we've seen somebody on NRG. This time it's Squishy in an uncomfortable situation. He backflipped initially on that clear, knowing that he couldn't get up to it. And then he had to try and read it off the backboard. It was too difficult. Gets a whiff on the ball, and it's Crimson Wings finally getting one on the board. Are they going to build off this momentum? Is this their first goal this series, Corelli?
No, I think they scored a few in the beginning as Garrett, another shot. It's a bit too high, and Squishy's going to put another one away. And while you think about maybe, or you just talked about building some momentum here, Turtle, I think NRG are already too far down the hill.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't even matter if it's their first goal, because there's nothing even to go forward with right now with 43 seconds left.
12 shots for NRG as they are in full command here in game 2. Here's Demo trying to fight for it on the sideline. And Garrett will get another one. 6-1 now for NRG.
And they still got so much space to work with Demo in an uncomfortable situation. He's just panicking a bit. And they're being aggressive. You can't blame them for trying here for Crimson Wings. Looking to maybe put something on board, but either way, another clean performance from NRG. This is why they're so dominant against all of these teams that are a bit lower on the scoreboard. It's because of this safe play style. You know, they're never one to be super aggressive. They keep this up even against the top tier teams, and they don't let up when it comes to the decision making.
And so now Crimson Wings will have to go back to the drawing board, Turtle, and I'm interested to hear your take on this. I mean, after seeing what happens here in this game, what is the biggest weakness from Crimson Wings at the moment? How do they fix it going into the next game?
For me, it's all about their transition game, because against a playstyle like NRG, where they will control the ball so long as you give them the space to do so, that comes down to your clears. If you can't keep possession out of your own end with where you're finding a teammate, once you clear the ball, you're doomed. Against NRG, they are going to capitalize this. Almost a pre-flip or a pre-jump pass play comes out. This is nuts from NRG. This is why I love games that get out of control, because we see the magic of the mechanics.
Squishy will get the final goal. 7-1 is your scoreline in game 2. And NRG are marching towards the day's end here and into stage 2. It's Crimson Wings again. A lot to work on here, I feel like. And mostly, I mean, here's the thing. You know, you talked about the transition game, and I agree with you. At the same time, there are chances that are being generated by Crimson Wings that they're just not putting shots away. I mean, they put up 7 shots here in this game, which, of course, doesn't necessarily mean that they should have scored all of them, but they are generating some sort of chance downfield. It's not like NRG are locking them in their half and they can't break out. They are able to break out, and it's that boost management, I think, that's really killing Crimson Wings right now. And it goes on into basically every facet of their game where they're deficient at the moment, because the defense is slow, they can't react. The transition game, if you don't have boost, you can't move down the field quick enough. And then at the final point when you've done everything right and you can't put the ball away, it's because you don't have boost. And that's really been the issue in my mind when I'm switching through these Crimson Wings players. None of them ever have full boost. NRG are just completely owning them in that regard.
Exactly. Well, and I'm also getting kind of a comparison in my head from Crimson Wings. We just saw Nefarious. If we compare both these teams, I think Nefarious even have the edge, because while both of them struggle to keep possession and put a lot of shots on net, I think that Nefarious were much more methodical with how they were approaching the ball, because they were passing so much. They were so selfless with the ball. Anytime they would control it or even have an opportunity to go forward, they would look for a teammate. Meanwhile, it seems like Crimson Wings are prioritizing those shots much more, and they're giving away the ball, because if you can't put on a solid shot, there's no point in even hitting that ball close to the net, because NRG, 9 times out of 10, aren't going to make a mistake like that.
It's a team that for a long time, and still do, pride themselves on not making a lot of mistakes. That was really, I mean, back in the day, what this team, that was their thing, was they were very tough to crack, because against a lot of North American teams, they did not make mistakes against. And you're even seeing it here as, I mean, they have played almost flawlessly throughout this series.
There's barely any room for Crimson Wings to punish. We have seen some glimpses, some very few glimpses, but overall, like I said, clean from NRG. It's hard to break their rotation. Maybe at the end of the day, like I said, just go for more passes. That's the only thing I can look to build on if you're Crimson Wings, because you need to be moving this ball down the field and wasting NRG's boost at the same time.
And Turtle, I was informed that you are correct. That was the only goal from Crimson Wings. I'm
sorry for asking that question.
No, I mixed them up.
I should not have thrown that to you. I didn't know. I knew that, you know, the better caster Corelli would know, but I was disappointed. How are you going to let me down like that?
I apologize, Turtle. NRG right now is not letting themselves down. They're doing a great job here in this series. Here's Justin looking for a second touch as he can't get back to it. And again, NRG, just look at, I think for a lot of people, you know, they might be listening to our commentary and it's hard to kind of put a finger on what NRG is doing so well. But if you just look at the shape and the support that they have, especially in just that last play, you can really see why NRG are completely dominating this series. There's always options, and they're always there to receive whatever Crimson Wings throws at them. They're never caught off guard.
Well, and that's such a good word to use when you're describing NRG, is options. Because with the way they space out around the field, everybody who has possession of the ball, whether it's Justin, Squishy, or Garrett G, they're faced with multiple options of how they want to move the ball forward. They can either go for a pass, go for a shot themselves, or even a dribble play. And they're always given those chances because they give each other space on the field. If you're trying to build a threes Rocket League team, you have to look to NRG and how they space themselves out on the field as your guideline, because it is almost as perfect as it can get.
Well, if you want to talk about options, I just saw Squishy smack Justin downfield to play defense. So a lot of support here for NRG beautiful. As a good pass comes down. That's dangerous. It's nobody from, Crimson Wings could get to it in time.
Oh, Squishy's a bully too. He's going for even more demos, whether it's Justin or somebody on the other team. He's just trying to take him out.
Justin does not get the touch, and this one might fall for Prime Thunder as Squishy had to make the save. Very tough situation there for NRG, and it really just comes off of that mistake from Justin not getting the back wall. Still Crimson Wings not able to capitalize.
Oh, it's on point. That was a good chance there. Squishy with a relatively easy save, but I like the pressure out of Crimson. This is one of the first looks where they have had the advantage on the ball, but still look at how patient NRG are. They would love to let them hit the ball to them. I mean, that's what it comes down to, is just keeping possession.
Garrett Into the challenge, Squishy looking for a second touch. It's there, but it's a bit wide on the second touch towards the net. Good challenge by Demo. And again, Crimson Wings, they've kept this game close throughout the series. And now down the line, you really got to convert on one of your chances. They generated 5 shots, and you know at least one of those were high quality. Here's a pass to Garrett. That shot's wide. NRG are also having some shooting difficulties at the moment. 2 go here from Crimson Wings. This could be trouble. Garrett just fires off a shot directly at Skills. Good pass back out to Justin. This one's going to go a bit high. Squishy's there, bounce down and in, and NRG get their first goal.
It is getting ugly on the field. We've seen multiple demos back and forth, both teams exchanging blows, and then Skills with the misread on the backboard. Prime Thunder flies behind the ball. 2 mechanical whiffs right in front of each other, and Squishy just commits to it. As soon as he jumps, he knows he has to go for the hit. Fortunately enough, for him at least, there is a double whiff, and it's NRG to punish. Oh, more demos. He's a bully, dude.
Squishy has been a bully. Justin has also been a bully with the demos. I even saw Garrett hopping in on a couple as well. So a physical game from NRG. But it's one of those games, again, here in this series for Crimson Wings, where they've kept close for the majority of the game, but they just can't find the back of the net.
Well, you don't even think to a lot of opportunities that they're generating. I think in terms of them even having shots on net, they're not really memorable. There's nothing that gets put on target, excuse me, where I'm like, oh, that could have been a chance. That was a good look. It's mostly just routine plays where they're either trying to relieve pressure or keep that pressure in on offense.
Well, let's see if they can go down the length of the field. 1 second left, and Justin will jump in front of it. Skills still to keep it up. Garrett with a great fake, so smart. And NRG will take down Crimson Wings and move on to the next day.
I don't even think NRG had one droplet of sweat off of their foreheads. That was so relaxed from them. They took the game in game 3 alone, 1-0, just having fun on the field, making sure they win challenges, keep possession, and it was a simple game from them. This is what I'm talking about. If you want to build a Rocket League team in terms of how to build the foundations, look at this series. This is a perfect example of where you want to start with your roster, is to rotate like these guys, really.
Yeah, I think NRG are a shining example of how to play Rocket League right now, and that showed, especially against a team like Crimson Wings. And look, the roster move is working out for them. So NRG move on today. 3-1 is their record to move on to stage 2. And we've got a couple more matches left here, so we're going to get to it right after the break.